Bloomington. Lucas, dangerous from the 1. Lucas, a seam and more. Good start for Indiana out near the 35-yard line. What a talent he is, a good return. Lucas in motion. Here's Josh Henderson. He was back healthy last week against Penn State. Indiana down. Wide receiver Cam Camper today. First throw, Sorsby, and that's caught by Carter, and he's popped immediately. Nice hit by Nizer Forcuring. Wisconsin defense that brought pressure against Ohio State last week. Forced turnovers, yet still lost at home to the Buckeyes. Sorsby on the run, throws, and a nice fingertip catch made by Omar Cooper Jr. and a first down. 18th reception this season. Now it's Henderson. Picks up about 3 out near the 50. On 2nd and 7, time, Sorsby. And a lot of contact, and it was caught out of bounds by Carter. Now a flag comes in.
Pass interference. Defense number 9, 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
It's on Austin Brown. Sorsby, tie, he'll take off and slide down at around the 29, 28-yard line, picked up 6. Throws on the ground, Sorsby got it back, spinning and drop back near the original line of scrimmage. This is right at about the range for field goal kicker Chris Freeman, maybe 4-down territory here. Sorsby rolls, still looking at Allen, chuck down one, caught. First down and more inside the 15-yard line. It's E.J. Williams. His 4th reception all year is a big pickup on 3rd down. Indiana has struggled in the red zone this season. Henderson works his way inside the 10. Sorsby kept it. Sorsby for the pylon. Touchdown, Indiana. And it is good. Belusi out, Braylon Allen out. First start as a running back for Jackson Aker, the former fullback. Here he is and lowers that shoulder and picks up a hard-earned 5. We were told that with Aker, when he gets the ball, the play may call for 2 or 4, but likely he's going to finish with 6.
Yeah, and anyone that's played fullback just jumped out of their seats. This is great for the fullbacks, kind of the last of a dying breed, but Jackson Aker, he's not cutting in the open field. He's going to run right through you.
And now Locke will throw. That's low, but caught on the ground by Skylar Bell. Aker, left side, flag thrown behind the play. For now, a first down carry out to the 36, but a big call upcoming here.
Personal foul. Hands to the face. Defense number 41, 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Locke kept it, and he's brought down.
This offensive line has done a great job, particularly at the tackle position to throw.
Locke, good pocket, throws low, and that is incomplete. Shaw starting in place of the injured Noah Pierre, one of the vocal leaders on this team. On 3rd and 14, Locke over the middle, and that is caught, but short of the line to gain by Will Pauling. 4 fourth down conversions for the Badgers all year. Locke looking, throwing, incomplete. Intended for Pauling. On first down, here's Lucas, and he is slammed out of bounds to the 45-yard line after a gain of 3. Leaves the backfield lined up in the left slot. Good throw, that's caught near midfield by Trey Walker, his 6th reception. Sorsby under center. A little help, a little push there from tight end Walker. And the official on the far side jogging in has him short. The official on the near side almost at the line to gain. The same play on 4th and short. Yep, Walker gets behind Sorsby. There's a push, a spin, a surge. And looked to be just inside the 48-yard line. If so, that should be an Indiana first down, and it is. Henderson. Still not down. Extra effort for 5 hard-earned yards there for Josh Henderson. Great to have the tailgate team, Mike Hall and company, with us today. Great show this morning here in Bloomington. Henderson spinning, popping, and near the first down to the Badger 37. 11 of 15 plays on the ground. Here's the 5th pass, Sorsby, and that's caught inside the 30-yard line by McCulley. Second down, long throw, caught by E.J. Williams. Allman still in there defensively for the Badgers. Here's a handoff to Trent Howland, his first carry, and he picks up about 3. Another big back for Indiana. Howland, 6'3", 240, redshirt sophomore out of Joliet, Illinois. Anderson Lucas to the side of Sorsby. He's almost looking to throw that ball. And Henderson is tackled at around the 26-yard line. Badgers bring pressure on 3rd and 8. Sorsby throws this one too high, incomplete, intended for Cooper. We'll go try now for Chris Freeman, his career and season-long 42. That was against Ohio State week 1. This one from 43. On a beautiful day, it's leaking right, and that one is no good. It's Aker. Out to the 29. Leg against Purdue, swing pass. This is caught by Aker. Lowers the shoulders and picks up the first down to the 36, a gain of 7. Feeds it again this time, other side of the field, upended. As you mentioned, Cade Giacomelli, he checks in, but instead Locke throws, and that's caught by C.J. Williams. Design run here for Locke. There's a dive, and that is hit from behind and dropped after a gain of 7. And that'll be the final play of the opening quarter. It's Giacomelli passing it outside. Giacomelli has a first down. There's a flag down back near the line of scrimmage. It's a gain of 9 pending a big call
Holding.
here.
Offense number 79. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
It's on the left tackle, Jack Nelson, and that erases a 9-yard carry and a first down.
That's that slot pressure there on the hash right above the Indiana 7 scoreboard.
Pressure coming from Indiana. Throws, and that's incomplete. Intended for Pauling. Indiana's had issues on catching punts cleanly, and now DeKeese Carter gets a chance, but no return here. As Indiana has the ball back, Lucas along the sideline. A little bit of melancholy in the air here in Bloomington after the loss of the Hall of Famer Bob Knight on Wednesday. Sorsby floats it down the field, and at the 40-yard line, that's caught by Carter. First down, Indiana.
Man, that is a great job by Sorsby rolling to his left. That's the same action they ran earlier in the game, but watch DeKeese Carter. He's looking on an out and then turns it up. It's the double move that fools Jason Maitre, and then Sorsby. That was a heck of a ball drop between Maitre and the safety over the top on 3rd long, great job by Sorsby. His playmaking ability has showed up constantly to start this game.
Another third down conversion picked up by Indiana, but now a drop from Bradley Archer. David Lucas. Nope, instead it's a pass. And that's caught by Anderson Colby. Sorsby 9 completions so far to 7 different players. On 3rd and 5. Pocket collapsing. Sorsby throws on the run, and it's knocked away incomplete. Great play by Jason Maitre. James Evans to punt this one away. Anthony with the catch at the 6. No fair catch, and then he is stacked up. And he ends up in the end zone, but will be marked down at the 6-yard line. Vinny Anthony to the right on the lock. And now it's Aker, beg your pardon, a gain of about 3. But to his left, throws, and that's off the hands of Aker. 3rd down. Hoosiers brought 3. Movement killed the play.
False start. Offense. Everyone but the center. Half the distance to the goal. Remains 3rd down.
Now that's a new one for this report.
This one always cracks me up because everyone but the center. The center isn't innocent. It seems like everyone was on the same page. So, but thankfully, I know Braden Locke's lucky that was blown dead because Anthony Jones looked like a track meet trying to go hit him.
Lock in the shotgun from his own end zone. Stands tall in the pocket, throws, and that's incomplete. For the punter, short kick, Atticus Bertram's and a fair catch from DeKeys Carter. And Indiana set up with great field position. Field position now. For the Hoosiers as Lucas keeps this and pops it up the middle. Sorsby in trouble, got away from it, steps up, dives for a 1st down inside the 30-yard line. And that ball came out.
They're saying he's
Rolling
down.
on the field as the runner was down. 1st down.
Here's Lucas, cuts back, finds some space. Lucas picks up about 9.
I didn't hear a whistle. I did not hear a whistle.
The ruling on the field is the runner was down. 2nd down.
And Wisconsin can't challenge.
Did you hear a whistle?
I did not.
No. Was he?
So a 9-yard gain.
They're trying to hurry up again. And it doesn't matter. Next play.
He play on to the outside. 1st down to the 10. It's Lucas again. Out of the timeout, 1st and goal. Sorsby takes the handoff. Looking for McCulley. Incomplete. The run for Henderson. He is pushed back by C.J. Getz. On 3rd and goal to the end zone. And incomplete. A bit too high off the fingertips of McCulley. And McCulley, 6'5", 200. He's smiling. A ball that reaction, one that he should have had, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean,
Ty.
He'll say it. He'll say it. He'll definitely say, guys, I should have had that one. But you look underneath. Look at all the white jerseys. They're sitting in zone coverage, and Sorsby had to get it over the linebacker Jordan Turner, so he had to put it up top. McCulley's 6'5", as he said, with long arms. Just not quite enough to come down with it there.
Freeman from 27. And he drives it through. Possession dominated by Indiana. Wisconsin's had the ball for only 5 minutes of game action so far. And no return now from Anthony. Great block. Time over the middle. Zips it, tipped in, incomplete. That was knocked away by JoJo Johnson, the redshirt sophomore from Maryville, Indiana. 19 total play they've run today. Late handoff to Yacomelli, and he's dropped for a loss of 1. Jordan Shaw, number 23, got in there, the starting Husky. Locke plants, fires, tipped at the line of scrimmage, incomplete. Try to keep it alive to his left, but it was swatted away, and it's 4th down. Chance for Indiana to have really good field position, but a good punt this time from Bertram's. Carter with a fair catch. There's the handoff to Howland. And Howland is stacked up near the 27-yard line after a gain of 2.
I think we've seen Wisconsin kind of ripping at the ball. I think the defense is aware how much the offense has been struggling right now. They want to get a turnover to give their guys some favorable field position. On the flip side, Indiana has to be hyper aware. Hold on to that football.
His 3rd straight start, pressure coming. Sorsby hangs in there, floats this one incomplete. Anthony slipped away. Anthony up the middle, spins his way to the 31-yard line. Locke will throw it in. That may be a live ball, and Pauling is going to jump on top of it for a moment. And now they're going to wave it incomplete.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete forward pass. 2nd down.
Locke throws. That's caught by Green. And he spins his way for a 1st down out to the 44-yard line. Gain of 12. Badgers will get the ball first to begin the 2nd half. Swing pass to Aker. And Aker is brought down at the line of scrimmage by a pretty excited Hoosier. It's Aker for about 2. Pressure coming on 3rd down. Over the middle, that's caught. It's Bryson Green running 3 down the sideline. Touchdown, Wisconsin.
Locke's pass complete to number
1. Short kick. Lucas has space. Lucas cuts back in. On run for Sorsby. And Sorsby struggles to get back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe picked up 1. Jake Chaney got there for Wisconsin. Wisconsin, meanwhile, has been a much better 2nd half team offensively. Henderson, not much. Sorsby throws. That's caught, but slipping away once, then keeping his feet. E.J. Williams' 2nd, 3rd effort, and a 1st down for Indiana. Should be now over 100 yards passing. Henderson trying to block Jordan Turner, and will throw this one away. That was 54 coming home, and 26 said, okay, I'll do my best, but look out. As Bug met windshield. Sorsby throws, and a leaping catch made, and McCulley, he wasn't down. He's still live. He gets a block, and now he's out of bounds inside the 24-yard line. Now the officials, they did not blow it dead. McCulley acting like he never was down. He kept the play alive.
We're seeing some serious athleticism by the Indiana receivers here on the drive. So, just initial thoughts. I don't know that he was down there. Here, we'll get a good look at it.
Hand is okay.
Rolling on the field was the catch. The runner remained up.
He doesn't look like he's down.
Made a first down.
There.
The play is under further review.
Hand is fine. Forearm is not. Forearm, then he'd be down. That right hand. He's rolling on the back of Jonas DeClona, the freshman corner from Naples, Florida. Let's bring in Dean Blandino. Dean, they did not blow it dead, and now they are taking a look to see if McCulley should be brought back. What do you think?
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The runner remained up. First down, Indiana.
Henderson off the right side. Some space opened up. Good run. Teams, 2 timeouts remaining. Sorsby trying to deke out a defender, and that last cut will have him to the 11. And an Indiana first down after a gain of 4. Henderson. Under a minute to play. Indiana in no hurry right now.
No need. No, it's 2nd and 6, right? Because the first down is right on the 1-yard line. You can really almost call this 2nd and goal.
Badgers get the ball first, begin the second half to the end zone. It's held in with one hand by McCulley. Touchdown, Indiana. Capping off a 9-play drive. Extra point is good. Indiana. Low kick from Freeman. And through the end zone. Draw. Giacomelli. Timeouts remaining. As Locke in the pocket will take a shot here. Tight window, and that is going to be caught at the 45-yard line. Clock will stop temporarily on the first down to Skylar Bell, and the Badgers will take a timeout, leaving Wisconsin with 1. 1 timeout remaining, 17 seconds to go until halftime. Great block. Drops back. Time over the middle, tipped around in the air, and the second time it's pulled down by Bryson Green at the 40. And they'll mark him down inside to the 38-yard line.
That was a Hail Mary concept.
5 seconds. Locke throws incomplete. This will be at 56. They do snap it. So Locke steps up, taking a chance. This one floating towards the end zone, up for grabs, and it's incomplete. So no try for Vakos from about 58. Hail Mary attempt incomplete. Badgers have the ball to begin the second half, but Indiana, who last beat Wisconsin here more than 20 years ago, a 10-point lead. No return. Wisconsin ball from the 25. Giacomelli. He's dropped for a loss. Locke over the middle. Nice catch made. Spinning. First down. It's Green.
That's a heck of a catch. A dangerous throw by Locke because Aaron Casey was sitting in zone coverage. Look at him sitting right there on the hash. He reads it, but it's just a little too late.
Badgers going fast as Giacomelli picks up about 4. He's closing in at 100 yards receiving here today on 4 receptions and the lone touchdown. Swing pass is Giacomelli. Giacomelli flag thrown from the defensive backfield.
Holding. Offense number 4. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
4th penalty on Wisconsin today. You see Indiana only 1 so far. Locke keeps it, throws, and that's caught at the 40-yard line by Will Poland. Gain of 8. Pressure coming. Incomplete. And a flag comes down.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
So there's Aaron Casey, and then there's Mangum Farrar.
Penalty is on number one.
I think he's at number 7, Jacob Mangum Farrar, the linebacker. You know, they're trying to protect the quarterbacks today, so whether you agree or disagree, you know, you got to be smart and be aware of that and try to avoid that if you can.
So here's the call from Mark Kluzinski.
After review, there is no foul for targeting.
Pump from Locke. Time. Still there. Now fires towards the sideline. Incomplete. Baker. For about 4. Also keep an eye on right slot number 6, Will Pauling. He's been a popular third down target for Locke and company all year. Instead, he'll throw it near side. That's caught. And that is the tight end, Riley Nowakowski, still spinning and fighting his way for a first down inside the 20. Inside the Indiana 20. Yacomelli. Not much. Carter made the stop. Wow. Pressure throws this one away. He looked right, Jake. He went left, and good coverage downfield by Indiana. Time-consuming drive by the Badgers. 10th play upcoming. Play clock at 2. Locke. Time looking open. End zone caught. Touchdown. It's Pauling. Three-point game. The dangerous Jalen Lucas with a chance from his own 5. Well contained by the Badgers, bringing him down. First possession is had for Indiana. And here is Lucas. So Cooper now out. Cam Camper out today. So Indiana a bit thin now in terms of the wide receiver room. On a slant, nice catch made by E.J. Williams. And speaking of that wide receiver room, with some injuries, he was a guy that Tom Allen, Jake challenged to step up. Here today, he's done that.
He certainly has, and really the receiver room as a whole, whether it's E.J. Williams, Donovan McCulley's made some nice plays. You know, they're coming off their best game last week. McCulley had 96 yards and a touchdown. DeKeys Carter over 100 yards and a touchdown. So between them and Sorsby, this passing game has really taken some strides.
See Williams 4 catches today, 3 all year before today. Quick hit to Lucas for about 2. Lucas trying to cut back, and this time the Badgers were ready. No cutback lane was there. And his 3rd down, nice play by Jake Chaney and Rodas Johnson. On 3rd and 7, Sorsby throws and dangerously thrown into a tight window, but hauled in by McCulley. Ricardo Holman, who leads the Big Ten in picks, he had his eyes set on number 6.
Yeah, and as you said, you got to be aware of where number 2 is, Holman, because he is a ball hawk to say the least. So that's a dangerous throw, but Sorsby's been pretty accurate today, putting that on the outside shoulder to try to keep it away from Ricardo Holman.
The line to gain is the 44-yard line. And it looks like they marked him just short of that. And look at that, by 1 link.
The runner did make the line to gain. First down.
Sorsby throws in. That's incomplete. intended for Trey Walker. Henderson to about the 48 after a gain of 4. Line to gain is the Wisconsin 46-yard line. Badgers bring 4. Sorsby downfield, a lot of contact. Maitre and McCulley, and we have multiple flags on the field. One is at the 41, another flag inside the Badger 30. And that reaction from Luke Fickell telling, I think, all of us that this is going to be called against Wisconsin.
Pass interference. Defense number 23. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Henderson picks up 3. Meta comes in for the injured Cheney as Henderson tries the left side. Not happening. Stretched out beautifully by the Badger defense and no gain. There's number 55, Meta on cue, along with Wohler. 5 conversions alone on 3rd or 7 or beyond here today. And now Sorsby in trouble and sacked back in midfield. Austin Brown along with Hunter Wohler. It was 9 and 24 that came home, a loss of 15.
That's back-to-back plays. Hunter Wohler there on 2nd down is look, they're bringing full out pressure. And again, that's why Rod Carey wants to avoid these situations, because Fickell and Tressel, they can do so many different things from these packages. You know, Hunter Wohler, just a guy that seems to always be in the right place at the right time. He's in a great position to, when Henderson bounced it on 2nd down, and then there on 3rd down, they move him inside and send him right up the gut. You know, if you're Indiana, you want to have a jersey on him because Hunter Wohler will make the play.
Good catch from Anthony. Yakimelli cuts back his best run as a Badger has a first down to the 30. The run game improving drastically this quarter for the Badgers. Yakimelli adding to that, and Turf got him for the first down out to the 44-yard line after 8 more. Lock again, time, checks it underneath, that's dropped by Pauling. Catchable ball, and that's been an issue for the Badgers and that group all year long. Before today, 22 drops, most of any team of the Big Ten.
Watch this. They're bringing nickel pressure. So take a look at this one. Inside by the right. Watch this right here. Right there. You see that is a holding as Indiana's trying to bring pressure. And Riley Malman, he kind of got away with one. To me, that looked like a pretty clear hold.
It's Aker. Good run for almost 9. Setting up 3rd down. And the toss goes to Anthony. Vinny Anthony. First down and more. Inside the 30. 61 yards rushing this quarter alone. As Locke will keep it, and he's hit for a loss. Back around the 31-yard line. Under a minute to play, quarter number 3. Yakimelli. Near the line to gain. Had to reach the 19. And he got there.
Gave up contain again there. You know, Yakimelli starts inside, but there's just no one off the left side of the whole line. So they gave up contain once again.
He's short. He's short of the line to gain. It was 3rd and 1.
They're
and
first
Indiana
of the half.
Taking its first timeout. 3rd and 1, late 3rd quarter. Locke under center, keeps it himself, gets a push from Ashcraft, and Aker needed the 19, and it looks like he'll have it.
It's a copycat league, as they say in football. Just about every single team has this in their playbook. Wisconsin rarely goes under center, but Make no mistake about it, when they're in that formation, it's quarterback sneak up the middle.
And that will be the final play of quarter number 3. 17-14, but the Badgers on the move, down 3 as we start the 4th. Third quarter dominated by Wisconsin. Yakimelli, a big part of that. No gain that time. Locke will fake it to him. This one floating to the end zone, incomplete, looking for Pauling.
Before the ball was snapped. Delay a game. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
6th Wisconsin penalty today. Here comes Casey, and he got home. Number 44 found a crease and took advantage. The leading tackler with his 8th career sack. It's a loss of 10.
When you need someone to show up, why not your best player, Aaron Casey? Look at him all the way at the edge of the screen, running a little twist inside, and Aker, who's the fullback, he's responsible for one of those blitzers, and kind of went the wrong route there, picking up Magnum Ferrar on the outside, because when you see 44 running at you, someone better block him. He's that special of a player.
So this would be about a 51-yard try. The play clock is winding down. 4th and 25.
Yeah.
And I think maybe Luke Fickell will take the delay and just give maybe some more room here on a punt.
Play a game. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
Carter back to receive the Bertrand's punt as he holds, and on left foot inside the 5. Well done by Wisconsin, down at the 4. Trent Howland, the tailback, behind Sorsby. And Howland, extra fight there, and picked up about 3 to the 7. Sorsby hit as he throws, and this one is incomplete as Sorsby got hit hard. Badgers bring 4. Quick throw. That's caught by Walker, but short of the line to gain. Mike Tressel, defensive coordinator, what he told us about Fortier this week exactly happened. He plays the sticks. He knew where the line to gain was and did not let Walker reach that spot. Should be good field position here for the Badgers. Good punt goal from Evans. Anthony was swarmed and dropped. At the 33-yard line, the Hoosiers got downfield, a good punt. Time throws low. Nice catch made by Yakimelli. Spins his way. Ball came out. It's on the ground. It's contested. And the Hoosiers believe they have it. No call. I mean, the ball is in the hand right now of Sanguinetti. But was he down?
After review, the ball was out before the runner was down. It's recovered by Indiana. It'll be Indiana's ball at the 44-yard line. 1st and 10.
Take a shot downfield right away after the turnover.
It's always a good time.
Nope, it's a run for Lucas, and he is trapped for a loss. Sorsby in trouble, and down he goes. Jordan Turner. So back-to-back plays made by Wisconsin linebackers, John Meta and now Turner.
That's just the classic Mike Will cross dog. You see John Meta and Jordan Turner, they're both coming, they cross face, and that puts the center in a bind as well as the running back in a bind on who to pick up.
So now 3rd and 27. So bounce inside the 10, and good punt from James Evans. No Chinray Dike. Down 3 with the ball, beginning inside their own 10-yard line. Anchor met by Casey. What a second half he is having. Lock throws, and that's caught by Nowakowski. On 3rd down, Lock, time, long throw, and that's broken up incomplete. Jordan Shaw. I mentioned that Pierre is out with his absence. Other guys, last week Jordan Greer started at Penn State. Today is Jordan Shaw. Start this drive, good field position. And Henderson, he is met at the point of contact. Empty backfield, Badgers bring 4, he's in trouble, and he'll throw this one away. Badgers load the box, only bring 3. Sorsby throws high, incomplete. And it's 4th down. There's Alexander Smith behind Williams, like you said. John Meta was in front, another punt. Anthony on the return. Got away once, twice, still not down. Vinny Anthony still going, and wrapped up near the 40-yard line. The Hoosiers had a couple of chances, but could not complete the tackle from their own 40. The Badgers start this drive with Anchor. He brings Jacob Magnum Farrar for a ride after a gain of about 6. Anchor got a nice block and now finds some space to the Indiana 41-yard line. And with that carry, that marks the first down from either team here in the 4th quarter.
And it really, the first down play was good. The O-line gets going. Nice advantageous double teams, and then this one was off tackle, and you see number 87, Hayden Rucci, leading the way as the tight end to help spring that thing for a first down.
Rucci did not play. He was banged up against Ohio State. Back today, a key block there. Anchor again, this time is dropped for a loss, and guess who? Tackle for a loss, something he has done well all season long. Swing pass out to Anchor, and he's dropped for another loss. It'll be 3rd down. Joshua Randolph again made that play. Pressure coming, throws on a slant, and that's caught by Bell, but about 2 yards shy of the line to gain. So a gain of 12. It'll be 4th down and 2. And Fickle's going to stick with Locke and the offense here.
That's Will Pauling right there going in motion. He's been the guy that stepped up big in the second half. There, the inside portion of the bunch.
Locke, quick drop, throws, and incomplete, too high. Pauling was open.
And now it's on this Wisconsin defense who, Indiana hasn't been able to move the ball really at all here in the second half.
Sorsby is on the run. He'll take off. Sorsby slides. First down across the 45. Sorsby throws, caught McCullough. First down to the Badger 44.
Look at the defensive structure though. Notice all the white jerseys. No one's deeper than 7 yards.
Snaps it with 5, and that's tipped and incomplete. It's 2021. 2 league wins. Seeking their first win over Wisconsin here at home in more than 20 years. And now here's a flip, and that's on the ground. And Sorsby has to jump on top of it. So a loss of 3. That's third down.
Run Sorsby again. You know, it's been one of your best plays. You look at those numbers. It's not great. You got to build a number with running Sorsby.
It is Sorsby on the move. He'll throw and complete. Flag! Sorsby got hit, and a flag throw was looking for McCulley.
Pass interference. Defense number 2. The ball being placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Not run it just yet, and now they do. It's Sorsby up the middle to the 32, picked up 3 more. 39. Sorsby is cracked at the line of scrimmage. So opting not to punt just yet, trying for a 50-yard try from Freeman. Are they trying to draw? No. Kick on the way. It is up and it is good. Play clock at 3. Lock in the pocket downfield and incomplete. Lock, pressure, got away once, and now we'll throw this underneath. That's caught by Pauling, got inside of Casey. Clock, 40 seconds to go. On 3rd and 7, in the pocket over the middle, that's caught.
Time is on Indiana's side.
Under 30 seconds to play. Lock, pressure, Casey! Once again! Guess who, number 44?
Wisconsin's most likely going to run effectively what is a Hail Mary here.
The clock and the ball, stop the clock, and now that's tipped. On 4th down, Lock, complete, ball's out, in the hands of Sanguinetti, and he runs out of bounds at the 15-yard line. And we have zeros on the clock. Indiana, for the first time in more than 2 decades, has beaten Wisconsin in Bloomington. 2014, the final.
Coach, you told me you've been so close, especially over the last few weeks. You've crossed the finish line. What does this one mean to you?
It means a lot. You know, kids, they fought so hard, kept believing, stayed together. To God be the glory. You know, we've been through a lot of tough times here the last couple of years, but guys just got to keep battling. And it's just to me, it's about our program. It's the character of our kids, our coaches, what we're all about.
How about this guy right here, huh?